Hey guys, I'm Naman Singh. I've interned as a software engineer at Rackspace and Oracle in the past, and I'll be interning again at Reddit this summer. Now, like a lot of you, my internship has gone remote, and this brings up a lot of new challenges that I wanted to address with you guys. After talking to a lot of intern managers, as well as people who work on remote first teams, I've learned a lot of tips that I'd like to share on how to succeed during your remote internship. Having a successful internship means putting in effort even before your work is started. You should first figure out what skills are going to be important for your work, and this can be done by directly reaching out to your manager and asking them if there's anything you could brush up on or concepts to read up on. It's really important that you take your own time and build these skills and learn more about these concepts so that overall you'll be able to learn faster, understand more when you're actually working, and just overall make better use of your work hours. This idea of using your own time to brush up on your skills will not just be important for the first 2 weeks of your internship or just before the internship, but all throughout your internship. It's really important that you keep on reading up on materials that come up or keywords that get brought up that you don't necessarily know a lot about so that you can brush up on your own, and once you go back to work, you'll be able to maximize your output. In my personal experience working at Oracle, I found out that I'd be working on a project dealing with blockchain very early on. Now, I knew next to nothing technical about blockchain, so I spent my own time to read up on blockchain and even built my own sample applications. Finally, when it came time to be in the meetings and terms were coming up like smart contract or peer-to-peer, I noticed that I was understanding a lot more and I was a lot more engaged in these conversations and contributing more, and I could ask the right questions. And this became so important in making a lot of progress during even just the initial weeks, which is why it's really important to optimize for your own time. There's going to be a lot of adjustment necessary for your internship going remote. So it's really important that you're sticking to proper scheduling and dedicating the correct amount of hours for your work time, free of distractions. You should also factor in time differences so that you know when you should be attending meetings and what hours you want to be on Slack and active and responding to your team and what's generally acceptable. So it's really important you reach out to your manager early on to figure out what's expected of you. I highly recommend you reach out to members directly on your team that you think you'll be working closely with to have one-on-ones set aside so that you can get to know each other. These are going to be the same people that you ask questions to, bounce ideas off of, ask for advice, that are going to be doing your code reviews. By taking this initiative, it reflects really well on you to your team members, and they'll be much more likely and much more willing to help you out. By far the biggest hurdle you're going to have to overcome by your internship going remote is communication. In a traditional work setting, you would probably see your managers a lot. They might be a desk or two away from you, and you'll see other coworkers, and you'll have a lot of conversations about what you're working on. Now in a remote setting, those interactions will happen a lot less often, despite them being still very, very important for your internship to be completely fulfilling. The most important part of your communication will be asking questions. Now, it might seem like asking a lot of questions to your manager or your coworkers might seem annoying, but in fact, it's quite the opposite. It's a major red flag if an intern is not asking enough questions. Your questions can be about anything that you even have a slight doubt about, and these can be about technical terms that come up in conversations, about a team's project, what a coworker is doing, what the purpose of your job is, or anything about the company as a whole. It's really important that as an intern, being there for likely only 12 weeks, to get as much knowledge as you can and essentially pick the brains of your coworkers for the time that you're there. Asking the right questions specifically before you're going into assignment is very important for getting the job done correctly. It's important to reach out to your manager or teammates about how they might prefer the task to be done, or even just getting a second opinion on the approach you want to take. You don't want to be hours into a project and approaching it a specific way only to find out that it leads to a dead end. You need to always be asking for constructive criticism and feedback whenever possible. Another major part of your communication over the summer is going to be keeping everyone in the loop. It's really important to be giving proper updates to your manager and essentially clarifying your objectives and sharing your progress. It should never seem that you've gone dark on your coworkers and your manager or other team members don't know what you're working on or what your progress is in with your project. Make sure you stay on top of all your communication channels and you're responding to emails and Slack messages. Because you're not physically in a workplace, a manager might be suspicious if you spend too long before answering one of their messages. So definitely keep active during your work hours. Having a successful internship doesn't just mean putting in a lot of good work and producing a lot for the company. It's also about what you're able to take away from the internship and what you're able to learn for your future. That's why it's really important to focus on your professional development over the course of your internship. In order to have your internship help you towards your career goals, it's important to explicitly state your career interests to your coworkers and especially your manager. They'll keep this in mind when assigning you tasks. That will help you personally get the most out of the internship. For instance, if you're interested in backend infrastructure, stress that to your supervisors so that you don't get stuck on building the application's UI and instead are doing exactly what you're interested in and what you plan to do after the internship. With that being said, it's still necessary that you keep an open mind. As an intern, it's important to get exposed to work that's slightly out of your comfort zone. Your interests will naturally grow and change as your career progresses. Overall, if you want to succeed during your internship, you have to be very proactive. And proactivity is not just completing your tasks in a timely manner, but it's going above and beyond what's expected of you. The harsh reality is that return offers are never guaranteed. And because of so much disruption by COVID-19, it might be even tougher now to get those intern offers converted into full-time offers. In order to prove your worth to the company, you really need to maximize your output of work during the course of the internship. This last point has a lot more to do with thinking ahead. A truly successful internship doesn't just concern the time frame of that internship, but is also about what follows, which for a lot of you is going to be searching for your next internship or even a full-time job. Regardless of whether or not you receive a return offer, it's important that you keep your options open. It helps a lot to have a diversity of companies you've worked at, especially early on in your career. By having an internship in the first place, you're probably a step ahead of a lot of your peers. So it's really important that you leverage that advantage that the internship offers to not only your resume, but also your personal knowledge base that you can call upon in your conversations and even interviews. To properly call upon all this knowledge that you gained over the internship, it helps a lot to keep active logs of the work you're doing, so long as you're not breaching an NDA. Over the course of the internship, you should gradually be formulating potential answers to a lot of questions that might come up in interviews, like what did you work on during your internship? What technologies did you face? Or what difficulties did you encounter? To help people more easily navigate their job search and boost their chances of landing interviews and offers, I launched a platform called MassApply at MassApply.com. MassApply offers a dashboard where you can easily apply to several top companies, manage and track your applications, and even build a custom email template that you can use to directly contact verified recruiters. This is something that can make your job search much more effective in the future, but for now it's important that you focus on getting the most out of your internship. I hope these tips were helpful to you, and if you want even more information, I published a guide on how to succeed during your remote internship. That link is in the description. Be sure to subscribe for more tips and advice on internships, careers, and searching for jobs. I hope you guys have a successful internship and an amazing summer. Take care.